Hi everyone. My name is Emma, and I'm a student of English literature and linguistics. Today, I want to share a story that's very personal to me. It's about how I improved my English speaking skills. It wasn't an overnight process, and there were a lot of challenges, but I hope my journey inspires you if you're on the same path. A couple of years ago, I realized I had a problem. I could read and write in English quite well, but when it came to speaking, I lacked confidence. I'd hesitate, forget words, or feel too embarrassed to even try. It was frustrating because I loved the English language, and yet, I couldn't express myself freely. That's when I decided to take things seriously and work on improving my speaking skills. The first step I took was reading aloud. As a literature student, I always had books around me, novels, poetry, plays, you name it. But instead of just reading silently, I began reading out loud every single day. At first, it felt strange to hear my voice speaking English, but soon, I realized it was helping me a lot. It allowed me to practice pronunciation and get comfortable with the way sentences flowed in English. Whenever I came across a new word, I'd underline it, look up its meaning, and practice saying it until it felt natural. Slowly, my vocabulary expanded, and I felt a little more confident speaking out loud. Next, I started practicing in front of a mirror. This might sound funny, but it was one of the most effective things I did. I would stand in front of the mirror and pretend I was having a conversation with someone. Another thing I did was immerse myself in English media. I started watching TV shows, movies, and even YouTube videos in English. Some of my favorites were shows like Friends and The Crown. At first, I watched with subtitles so I could follow along easily, but gradually, I started watching without them. I focused on how the characters spoke, their intonation, and how they used expressions in different contexts. I would pause the video, mimic what they said, and try to copy their accents. Over time, this practice helped me pick up natural ways of speaking and improved my listening skills as well. But watching TV wasn't enough. I needed real-life practice. That's when I joined a local English-speaking club. Honestly, it was terrifying at first. Walking into a room full of strangers and trying to speak a language I wasn't confident in felt overwhelming. But everyone there was so encouraging and supportive. We would have group discussions, play games, and even debate on random topics. This gave me real-time experience of speaking English with other people. I learned how to think on my feet, respond to questions, and keep a conversation going. The best part? I realized it was okay to make mistakes. Nobody judged me, instead, they helped me improve. Around this time, I also started journaling in English. Every night, I would sit down and write about my day, my thoughts, or even my dreams and goals. Writing helped me organize my thoughts, and it also made speaking easier because I started thinking in English. Whenever I wrote something, I'd read it out loud, which was like killing two birds with one stone, practicing both writing and speaking. Another habit I developed was listening to English podcasts and audiobooks. This was especially helpful because it exposed me to different accents and styles of speaking. Some speakers were slow and clear, while others spoke quickly and used informal language. I'd listen carefully, pause the audio, and repeat what they said. One technique I found very useful was shadowing. It's when you try to speak along with the audio, matching the speaker's pace and pronunciation. At first, it was challenging, but with practice, it became a fun way to improve my pronunciation and rhythm. One of the most important steps I took was recording myself speaking. I'd pick a topic, something as simple as describing my favorite book or talking about my weekend, and record myself on my phone. Then, I'd listen to the recording and identify areas where I could improve. Was I speaking too fast? Was my pronunciation clear? Did I sound natural? This exercise was incredibly helpful because it allowed me to track my progress over time. I also tried to surround myself with English as much as possible. I changed the language settings on my phone and social media to English, so I was constantly reading and interacting in the language. Even small things, like writing captions in English or leaving comments on posts, helped me practice. One day, I realized something amazing. I had started thinking in English. It happened naturally over time, but it was a huge milestone for me. Thinking in English made speaking so much easier, because I no longer had to translate my thoughts from my native language. It felt like a breakthrough moment in my journey. Looking back, I think the most important lesson I learned was to be consistent. Improving your speaking skills doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, patience, and a lot of practice. But every little step adds up. Whether it was reading aloud, watching shows, joining a club, or simply talking to myself in the mirror, each activity contributed to my progress. So, if you're on this journey, my advice to you is this: don't be afraid to make mistakes. Mistakes are just stepping stones to success. Surround yourself with English as much as you can, practice every day, and most importantly, enjoy the process. Thank you for listening to my story. I hope it inspires you to take the first step or keep going on your own journey. If you have any tips or experiences to share, let me know in the comments. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Remember, you can do this. See you in the next video.